Hello, in this video I'm going to talk about Silent Hill 2 Remake. I'm very excited for it and I hope it will be good. And so I would like to share my views on what I think are the essential elements that should be included in Silent Hill 2 Remake to make it the game that's worthy of all Silent Hill fans. Okay, first, I think they should keep the plot and the classic scenes and moments of the original in the remake. Okay, by that I don't mean for it to be 100% the same as the original, but what usually what uh, because remakes are targeted primarily at the fans, so these are players who already know the story. Uh, they are playing the remake because to relive the experience of the original or maybe an enhanced version of the original. So the creators shouldn't try to take away or change too much of what's in the original in the remake. So those classic scenes and moments and music, yes, the music is also very important. The atmosphere should be preserved in the remake, but they should be made more complex. For example, in the opening scene of Silent Hill 2, after the protagonist James looks at himself in the mirror, he walks out of the toilet and stares at the lake, and then he tells the story of his wife and the letter he received from his wife, and that she has been dead years ago. And then we hear this music playing in the background, and I think that moment is what I mean by a key moment. So in the remake, what they can do is, I think they should try to preserve exactly the scene flow should be the same. But what they can do to change to enhance it is, maybe in the original, the camera is a still shot, like a far away still shot. Look, we players see the back of the character looking at the lake, and there's no camera movement. So in the remake, maybe they can enhance it by using different camera angles to show the character's expression. Maybe it's some mid shot or close up shot at James' facial expression as he tells the story of his wife, that his wife died and he received a letter. So yeah, this is an example. And point number two, the combat system. They should have a better combat system in the remake. The Silent Hill series hasn't always isn't really that great in terms of combat. So what I think they should do is they should try to replicate to reference like games like Resident Evil, and maybe because a lot of people love the combat system in Resident Evil. Yeah, so they should reference that and maybe have the different weapons have different effects against different monsters, and weapons might have different usage instead of just using weapons to attack enemies. Maybe some certain weapons can be used to destroy some obstacles or unlock things, or yeah, things like that. In and although I'm not combat doesn't really affect my interest in a game, but I think it will help attract a wider audience. Yeah, so this is how or maybe you attract players who love the Resident Evil series, and if it has a good combat system, the Silent Hill 2 remake, if it has a good combat system, it will attract players from other series and help get more sales for the game, which is definitely a good thing for the series. And the third point is the radio. As you know, Silent Hill, there's always this radio feature in Silent Hill whereby when you're near a monster, then you hear the radio static, the noises, and you know that a monster is nearby. The louder it gets, the closer you are to the monster. So, but I think the existing radio feature of the original is too simplistic. So I think they should make to make full use of the radio feature, like maybe different deadlier monsters will trigger special noises that are different from normal monsters, and maybe have events or situations that require players to use the radio to locate where the monsters are. Like maybe after like for example, when you are fighting a boss, after you depleted a portion of his HP, you run away and hide, and that's when the boss will replenish his HP. So in order to prevent that, you have to find him as soon as possible, and the only way is to use the radio to find the boss, and then kill it before it has the chance to replenish its HP. Yeah, things like that. And also maybe during exploration, when you're trying to find find objects in a room, the radio will sound off when a monster is nearby, but you don't know where it is. But it might be in the locker, which you will need to open in order to get a key item. So this enhances the horror feel, the feel of horror in the game. And the fourth element I think the remake should have is they should have more events revolving the side characters, like Laura, Ellie, and Angela. Like in the original, we run into these characters a few times throughout the game, but we roughly know what their backstories are, we roughly know what their traumas are, but we don't really know enough to be that attached to them. And so this is one problem I think that can be fixed in the remake. I know sometimes vagueness can be a good thing, but when it's too vague, it's very hard to relate to the characters. So I think they should maybe shed more light on the side characters' backstories, and let players delve deeper into their minds. And this will be really interesting. And also to know how the demons of Silent Hill are actually affecting them. Yeah. So the fifth element is that I think they should add dialogue, more dialogue. Not more. They should add dialogue options when, like, James is talking to other characters, or maybe when he's in a certain situation, the game will prompt the player to choose from a list of options what he will be replying, how he will be replying to the other characters. Like for example, and by choosing different options, it will lead the player to different endings and different story branches, and this will really improve the replayability of the game. So it is something like Heavy Rain. Adventure games like Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, these games are known for having like multiple options during conversations that will affect the path of story. And I think these feature will also tie in closely with the next feature, that is the notes. Okay, in the original Silent Hill games, notes are documents that you will find throughout the game, and maybe they'll tell you some information. Most of them are not really essential to the player in order to progress the game. So actually most of the time, unless you are really interested in knowing everything about the world, and you would skim through the notes. Okay, so what the creators can do to make the player like have a sense of urgency to read the notes is like, not sense of urgency, it's like sense of importance in reading the notes, is to include useful details, key details about the characters, or in the game. So for example, a note about Maria might state that she is scared of loneliness, and in a certain situation you will have the option of leaving her behind or letting her follow you to a certain place, a dangerous place. So if you read the note, you have known, you would have known that she doesn't like being alone. So if you choose to let her follow you, it will lead to a more positive reaction from her, and maybe you also affect the path of the story compared to you choosing to leave her behind. Yeah. So I think this would be a very interesting element to have, and player will feel more driven, more interested to read the notes in order to choose the best options in the game so that they can arrive at the best ending. Yeah. So and yeah. So basically, these are the points that I think. These are the elements that will make Silent Hill 2 remake a great remake. So of course, there are certainly more points more elements that can make it a better game. But these are what I think are the most essential and key elements. And if the creators really get it right, I think this remake will be a great one. And in this day and age, a lot of remakes and sequels have kind of disappointed fans of the original. So I really hope through this channel, I hope to share my views on what I think like sequels and remakes should be done, of different franchises should be done, to make them the version that the fans deserve. So thank you for watching this video. I'll be talking about maybe another sequel or remake of another franchise in the next video. So hope to see you there, and don't forget to subscribe if you like what I shared. Thank you. Goodbye.